What's up, guys? Stas here. So the stock market's about to close in 1 minute, and it wasn't too pretty of a day out there. S&P 500 down about 27 points right now, down 0.9%. The Dow Jones down 360-ish points, down about 1.4%, with the NASDAQ somehow doing pretty decent compared to the S&P and the Dow, down 0.25%, down only $20 on the day. And in this video, we're going to break down the market a bit more, break down some technicals, and I also want to share with you guys what are the top stocks, what are the top ETFs I'm watching right now and looking to trade, and what have I been doing in the markets, what options, stocks, ETFs am I involved with. I want to share with you everything in this video. So if you guys enjoy it, find value in it, as always, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, and also feel free to join our Discord chat, Facebook group, link down below in the description box if you want to be further connected with our community, and those are free of charge to join. So let's just get right into it, guys. And right there, 4 o'clock, the bell just rang. Officially a red day here for the stock market, and gold actually closed up, but we'll get into that in a couple of minutes here later on in the video. So going back to the S&P 500, down 31 points here officially, down a little bit above 1%. You guys can clearly see 2950 yet again is a resistance. 2950 yet again is a point where the S&P 500 is struggling, right? This is a point where we struggled back in April, back towards the middle of May. If you guys can see it here, it was about a week ago we struggled there, right, on the 11th of May, end of April. And actually yesterday we struggled there again, despite the fact that we actually popped above 2950 momentarily and actually closed above it. That was a good sign. But the fact that we didn't close above it today, that's a bad sign. That is a bad sign here for the bulls, because the bulls needed a close above this level to get to the next point, which the next point on the chart here where the S&P could be going is right around $3,000. So in the short term, is the uptrend broken? No, it's not quite broken yet, but the bullish momentum is slowly slowing down from what I'm seeing here. I'm thinking once we get above 2950, that is where we'll see a lot more momentum. But until we get above there, guys, the momentum is slowly slowing down. And you guys can see it here on the 20-day. And it makes sense, guys, right? Yesterday we had a ridiculous green day. You have to understand, yesterday, we were up like 90 points. So the fact that we're down 30 points today in the S&P, it's not that crazy. We're losing a bit of momentum. It's cooling down, but it's not the end of the world. We just shaved off 30 points. So in reality, we're still up about 60 points when it comes down to these past 2 days of trading compared to, where we closed on Friday. So still, it's a pretty good start to the week here, but we just need to break out of 2950, right? And when it comes down to SPY, which is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, pretty common ETF here that many people track to kind of get a sense and gauge the overall markets. This needs to break 295, right, and close above it, quite frankly, because we broke above it yesterday. I believe a bit in the pre-market session today we were at 297, but ultimately we didn't hold it. We didn't hold 295. We closed at about 292. So for the SPY here, we need to make a move above 297 and into the 300s, and of course at that point S&P SPX, which is the index here, not the ETF, at that point we should be into the 3000s, right? And the Dow Jones today ended up going down officially almost 400 points, 1.6% here. And you guys can notice, although on the 4-hour chart, yeah, we did break moving averages, we broke out of that wedge, right? We talked about that yesterday. That was very, very bullish. Despite that, we're still struggling right about 24,700, right under 24,700. And you guys can notice back towards the end of April, that's where we got rejected there. Yesterday as well, we struggled at about 24,700. So until we break out of there, guys, the momentum here, in my opinion at least, is slowing down. And I think the next leg up will come once we break 24,700. From there, like we talked about yesterday, the Dow Jones could easily go up, in my opinion, 25,800, especially if we get more optimism around these vaccine companies, right? We talked about them yesterday. Some of them are, Moderna, Inovio, right? NVAX, that's another one. And of course, with the stimulus here, the trillions that could be passed through Congress, this could end up pushing the markets up, and we all know that because it's been happening, right? That's what's been happening as money printing has been coming in, stimulus, it's just been pushing up the markets, right? And when it comes to the NASDAQ, down 33 points officially, 0.36%. This one's actually in a full-fledged uptrend still. We actually hit a higher high today, pretty strong momentum today for the NASDAQ here. Tech did pretty well earlier on in the day. A lot of the sell-off here in the NASDAQ came in the last 2-3 hours of trading. As you guys can see, we were actually green at one point at 94.20, so we hit the higher high, 94.20. One thing that is not too good, but still not that big of a deal, we didn't close above 93.50. That would have been very bullish in my opinion, but the fact that we didn't, we actually broke. We may be closing right around, or actually we may find some support here right around 92.50, right? That could be where the NASDAQ ends up going to, and let's say we break that point, we may be going down even to 91.50, maybe down to the lower 9100s based off of what I'm seeing here. And if you guys trade inverse leveraged ETFs, they're a bit more advanced. I don't really recommend them for beginners, but a way that you can trade the NASDAQ here could be from trading TQQQ, right? This is an ETF that goes up whenever the NASDAQ is going up at a 3x rate, right? So let's say the NASDAQ bounces back tomorrow from this dip that we experienced here in the last hour, 2 hours of trading. If we bounce back up 2%, 3%, remember, it's a 3x leveraged ETF, right? This could end up going up 6%, right? 6-7%. There could be some potential here if tech bounces back, if the NASDAQ does end up seeing a strong day tomorrow. So overall, those are some technicals here on the markets. And when we're taking a look, let's say at a longer term chart here on the S&P, let's take a look at this yearly chart. We can see it even more, guys. 2950 and 3000. These are very strong levels, I'm telling you, right? Even 3000, that would be putting us under the 180 SMA here on the yearly chart. We need to break that. The bulls need to break that, and then from there, this is a major resistance. From there, S&P could be going back up 3,100, 3,200, maybe even higher. Who knows, guys, right? But one thing on the bearish perspective, from a bearish perspective here, is Q2 earnings. A lot of people are saying Q2 earnings, and it's pretty obvious, right? Because Q2 is going to be worse from Q1. Q2 earnings are going to be abysmal. A lot of people are saying this is going to shock Wall Street to the point where it's a reality check, and the markets could drop from there. So for me, guys, I'm being cautious for that exact reason. I think the markets here, yeah, they're bullish. They're moving up. We're trading the trend, day trading, swing trading, the whole 9 yards. But long-term investments here, I'm being very cautious because Q2 earnings could bring down this market, and that's why I'm actually stacking up cash and waiting for those opportunities, right? But that doesn't mean, again, that I'm not day trading, swing trading, because that is how, at the end of the day, I make a living, because that's how I make a lot of my money. So that's the market today, guys. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts? Now let's talk about what I personally did in the markets today. It was a pretty strong day. My first trade was in SQ Square. We actually called this one out in yesterday's video. They got a downgrade from an analyst, I think maybe 2 analysts yesterday. The stock went down from about 81 bucks all the way to 76 this morning, guys. Pretty big pull down there of about 5-6%. And if you guys can see, based on these trend lines on the 4-hour chart, you can see that 76 bucks is a support. Actually, you'll be able to see it on the 20-day chart even better. $76 from the past couple of weeks, it was a resistance at one point in the beginning of May towards the middle. So the fact that we held it as a new support today was very bullish. And notice how in the morning we saw that massive pop. Volume started to kick in, right? And I actually got in not at the beginning of this rally at 76. I actually got in after we popped out, or actually right before we popped out. I got in at 77.95. Here's where I filled right before this breakup. And quite honestly, guys, like I do many times when I trade, I locked in profits a bit early. And I talk to you guys about this all the time. It's never a bad idea. Never feel down on yourself by just locking in profits early, because at the end of the day, guys, this can lead to you being a lot more conservative and consistent at the end of the day, right? Because if you set a target of, let's say, 0.5%, 1%, and you hit that and you just turn off your laptop, you're not going to be forced to make other trades. But let's say you lock in 1% and you're looking at a trade, or you're looking at the same stock, it keeps going up, and then you're like, crap, I sold out a bit early, now I want to, maybe get back in, FOMO kicks in, then you make a bad decision, right? So for me, I never get down on myself for, locking in early. It happens sometimes, but a lot of the time, guys, it's just the way I roll. Honestly, it's just the way I roll, and it's how I've been consistent in my career here as a trader. So 77.95, I locked in at I believe 80.10. Was it on? Yeah, it had to have been on this pump. Obviously, this pump here, I sold out at 80.10, and ultimately the move was about, let's take a look, 77.95 to 80.10. It was around a 2.7% move. If I held, I could have made double that, about 5%. But hindsight's 2020, guys. Profit's profit. We have to keep it rolling. So the next move I made was an EA. I'm actually swing trading EA here. I ended up buying in on the dip here at about $18.35. And you guys know I'm bullish video game stocks. EA has a strong resistance at $1.20 here, but it's also uptrending higher lows at the same time. So we're squeezing into this wedge, right? Today's action was quite bullish, up $1.42, 1.21%. We almost broke up today above 119, 120. So at this point, it's a patience game. It's a waiting game. I built a little initial position here of about 10-15%. I'm looking to add more on the confirmation of a break above 120. And if you guys take a look here on the 3-year chart, you can see there's a lot of potential from 120 up to 130 and maybe even higher. And if you guys don't follow me on Instagram yet, I called both of these stocks out on Instagram and the Discord. That's linked down below in the description. My Instagram is simply my name, the @ symbol, Stas Surfes. I post stories there pretty much every day, so if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram if you guys do want to see the call-outs on Instagram throughout the day. So let me know down below in the comments, what did you guys do in the markets today? I'd love to know. Now let's break down some stocks, some ETFs that I'm watching. The first one here is going to be Walmart. They actually just reported earnings earlier, and get this, guys, get how much money Walmart is making. It's just insane. This past quarter alone, they had EPS of $1.18 versus $1.17, so they beat there on EPS. And revenue came in at $134 billion versus $130 billion. Just try and fathom that for a second. Walmart in this past quarter made $134 billion. That's just insane. And compared to last year, they actually made $123 billion last year, so that's a pretty good growth there for Walmart. About $11 billion in growth compared to last year when it comes down to revenue numbers. And e-commerce, guys, get this: e-commerce grew by 74%, and e-commerce is one of the focal points here for Walmart. Quite frankly, it should have been 10 years ago. If they focused on that years ago, they could be competing with Amazon now. Who knows? But we can't rewrite history, guys. We don't know what would have happened. But the fact that they are growing e-commerce. That is a good sign for their business. They went up to $134 per share. Now they're down to $124 per share. They actually ended up going down at a 2%. So this could end up being potentially here a dip by tomorrow. Whether we consolidate at 125, 126, we could get an intraday play tomorrow, and for that reason, I'm going to set an alert here on Walmart. Very simple. At 125.50, I want to be alerted by ThinkOrSwim. Mark is at or above 125.50. So if we do end up popping above there, I'll know, okay, we're holding 125, starting to move up. Maybe we're filling the gap back up, and that's where I could end up pouncing on an opportunity. The next stock is Alibaba. They're actually reporting earnings here on the 22nd, which is this week on Friday. So Friday, it's going to be a pretty funky day for Alibaba here. And ultimately, guys, at this point, am I looking to trade it? No, but I'm looking to see if I can get an opportunity. At this moment, with this price, I'm not looking to buy into it, but I'm liking how we're pulling down here heading into the close. That's a solid sign that we could be heading down in the short term, maybe to test if we break this 216 support, maybe we go down to 214, maybe down to 212. You know, the closer we get down to the 212 support, the more potential money we can make. So for me, guys, Alibaba, 212 and coupled with a good earnings report. If we get a good earnings report, we'll see how it goes. This could be an awesome opportunity. And me personally, I don't like getting into stocks before earnings. That's not my style, which is why I'm going to wait and see what they report. Even though that means I missed the move. It doesn't matter, guys. That's just me, mitigating risk. But I'm just going to wait and see what happens here with Baba with earnings. But ultimately, 215, 212, back up to 225, maybe $230. That could be a move here on Baba, ticker symbol BABA. And another company that did great today was Facebook, up $4 roughly, up about 1.75%. And notice how we're breaking out of that level we talked about on Sunday, last week as well, and that level is 215. We struggled there after the earnings back towards the end of April. We struggled there a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago in the middle of May, at 215. And yesterday we struggled, and now finally we rocketed up 220. That, in my eyes, is very bullish. Volume today was kicking in, and I believe it was because of a catalyst with what was it? Shopify. They integrated something. I have to look deeper into it, to be honest, guys. Oh, here it is. Facebook's new shop feature to be powered by Shopify. Is that the catalyst that's moving it? Very well could be. But either way, Facebook at this point could be a good opportunity up to the mid 220s. That's kind of what I'm looking here. And at Shopify, SHOP, notice how this stock was quite volatile today. 713, we popped back up. 760, I believe this is when that news came out regarding Facebook shop on Shopify on the Facebook app. So that is, that's going to be interesting to see what happens. Clearly, a lot of shares exchanged hands at about 1 p.m. today. Look at that volume spike. That's incredible. The volume was, 13,000, probably a bit more than that. It's in thousands here, so it was like 13 million, 100 million. So the volume on Shopify earlier was insane, and I'd watch that for tomorrow. Actually, it was not 100 million. The volume right now is at 5 million. But either way, volume was kicking up there on Shop. I'd watch that one, and Facebook, ticker symbol FB. Some other ones here that did well, Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. This one was up 4.75% today, up about $6.17. With the price action today, we popped up above 137. That's very good in my eyes. We're holding the 50 SMA, the 130 level of support here on the 4-hour chart. That's also good. But for me, guys, until we get a full break above 140, 145, I'm not looking to force a trade here on Beyond. And hear me out. I want to wait for confirmation. I want to wait for this pop because it makes me feel more confident, right, holding the stock. And at this point, we could be moving up from 145. This could be the next breakout spot, 145, 150, 155. Notice how the stock last year at one point was, $230 per share? There's a lot of potential here with Beyond Meat, and you have to ask yourself, is the company more valuable now or when it was $230? And granted, yeah, the stock was a bit overhyped, overvalued back here, so I guess that's not a good comparison. But either way, this is a stock that just IPO'd. It could get hot again, and it's worth watching. So that is Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. Another one here on the verge of breakout is MasterCard. Notice how 290, we had an 83-cent green day today. 290 is a resistance from back in September of 2019. Last time we broke 290, actually it was a resistance as well towards the end of November. And once we broke that resistance in December at 290, we rallied all the way up to 350 on the stock. So keep an eye on it, guys. 290 broke today. We didn't close above it. We actually did close above it briefly, which is good, I guess. But overall, if we get that break into the 300s, watch out above for MasterCard. And another one here is UPS, ticker symbol UPS, United Parcel Service. This is actually one that a subscriber called out to me. And I think, honestly, guys, UPS is range bound at this point. And by that, I mean it's trading in a horizontal pattern. Kind of two levels here. Take a look. We're holding $90 support, very obvious. Now we're at $96 resistance. So, in my opinion, guys, if we break this, we'll be in the next horizontal channel. Very simple, right? From 96 back up to $101. This is a pretty simple trade to understand, right? It's in a horizontal pattern, up, down, from 89 to $100. So for me, I'd just watch this 96 pop to the upside. But another thing to keep an eye on is the dividend. If you guys didn't know, when companies report dividend, the stock typically goes down that day. So with the dividend reporting on the 22nd, we might actually come down on that day, the amount of the dividend. But then again, the 22nd's on Friday, so we might get a move either tomorrow or the next day to the upside. So we have to just wait and see what happens. But if the move isn't made either tomorrow or Thursday, I'd probably stay away, because on Friday we could end up dropping the amount of the dividend paid, which at this point is $1.01 per share. So we'll see what ends up happening here with UPS. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So let's get into ACB here. The MJ stock ACB has been on fire. It went from $5 to $20. Now it went down to $14 today, guys. Down 14%, down $2.42. But quite honestly, it was down a lot more than that, because we were up almost to $21 pre-market. So honestly, we're down more like 25-26% just today. So for ACB, guys, in the short term, I'm not looking to force it, but if you're actually one of those people that think the momentum will continue, this is looking like a perfect setup, right? And I personally think the momentum could continue, but again, I'm not looking to force it. I'm looking to get in on confirmation, which I think could be a break above, $15.30, $15.50 into the $16 range. And from there, we could end up seeing a pretty nice move of 15-20%. We've seen it go up 60% in a day, guys. Not saying it's going to do that again, but that's the potential that this stock has. So watch the dip here on ACB. Another stock that dipped today was Nordic American Tankers, down about 7%. That's not looking too good here for this stock, because it did break $485, which was a pretty strong support, so that's not good. The bears are looking like they're kicking in here. They're also reporting a dividend, or paying a dividend here on the 22nd of May, so keep an eye on that as well. And when it comes down to gold, guys, gold up $15 today, up almost 1%. We pulled down, we held $17.30 like we talked about yesterday. That's very good. Double bottom pop at $17.30. But for me, I didn't take any positions today. I'm still keeping an eye out on GDX. This is a gold miners ETF, up about 3.5% today, up $1.30. I'm looking to get in, but I just didn't see a good opportunity today, to be honest. I would like to get in more. 36.20 would have been a good shot here, but I would like to get in more towards the 35 range, maybe even the high 34s. Is that wishful thinking, guys? It might be. It might never happen, but hopefully in this scenario, patience pays off. The cash I have on the sidelines waiting, and that's what trading is a lot of the time, guys. It's a waiting game, right? You have your cash, you have your plan outlined. Now you just have to wait and execute on the plan. And if that price never comes, you just make a new plan, right? You make a new plan, but the most important thing is don't force anything, right? So GDX, I'm looking to get in at around 34, 35 bucks here. I'm waiting patiently for that price. GLD, I'm looking to get in at around 161, 162. And for this to really happen, guys, gold's going to need to see a pull down. Maybe a gold pull down, 1720, 1710. Who knows if we get that? But that's where I'm looking to get in at the end of the day. So overall, guys, that is it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, as always, hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing. And also, if you guys want 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400, use my affiliate link down below. Feel free to use it, guys. And if you deposit $100 into that account, you get those 2 free stocks, and it actually helps me out a bit because it is an affiliate link, and it helps out all the free content that I'm putting up here on YouTube. And I really do appreciate you guys, as always, for all the support. It means a lot to me. So I'll catch you in the next video. Stay safe out there, guys. As always, peace out.